Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel if you're brand new here or if you're coming back to the channel once again. I sincerely appreciate you taking out any of your time to check out this spoiler-free review of Dreamworks Animation's latest picture, The Bad Guys, which is set to have exclusive premiere screeners at local UK cinemas this weekend as I'm recording this review, and I do believe it has its general release the following Friday. Anyway, I do know that it comes out in Australia on March 31st and in the US on April 22nd, so I gotta check this out a little bit ahead of time, and I was quite excited to check out this movie because over here in the UK there hasn't been much marketing for this movie that I've personally seen. I've seen the poster, I've seen the trailer maybe once or twice, and each time the movie looked really interesting. I was like, okay, well, the last really animated movie that I really enjoyed was actually Paw Patrol, the movie, which I think was around like a year or so ago now. And yeah, I kind of just went into this with kind of low to no expectations just to see what it was all around. And I was pleasantly surprised. So the director of The Bad Guys is, and I'm sorry if I pronounced this name wrong, is Pierre Perifel, if I've pronounced that correctly. Anyway, it is their first featured debut, and the music is by Daniel Pemberton, who has composed quite a few soundtracks, or helped at least on some scores as well previously. And yeah, both those elements are awesome. And anyway, so the cast of The Bad Guys include Sam Rockwell, Marc Maron, Anthony Ramos, Craig Robinson, Awkwafina, Lilly Singh, Richard Ayoade, Alex Borstein, and Zazie Beetz. Apologies if I've pronounced any of those names incorrectly. I did try my best. And what is the plot of The Bad Guys all around? Well, after a lifetime of legendary heists, notorious criminals Mr. Wolf, Mr. Snake, Mr. Piranha, Mr. Shark, and Miss Tarantula are finally caught. To avoid a prison sentence, the animal outlaws must pull off their most challenging con yet, becoming model citizens. So the best way I can summarise this movie very quickly before I dive into my positives and negatives is you're either going to love this movie or you're not going to like this movie. Because let's get into my positives. Firstly, the music is very stylised. It is very just to the tone of this movie to a T. I love the animation style here by Dreamworks, and they did a phenomenal job with the animation, the music, the sound, just everything they put into this movie. You can tell it was kind of made with love and care, and the voice casting overall, especially Sam Rockwell and Craig Robinson, and of course Awkwafina, well, they're all fantastic, but those three big names, for me, I loved their voice casting in this movie. It's all sounded like they were having an absolute blast. And I've personally missed Craig Robinson in movies, even if he is a voice work. I've also missed Sam Rockwell for that matter. Very underrated actor, for sure, in my opinion. And also, these characters are very likeable. Yet the plot may not be the most original that we've ever seen, but the characters and how their charisma and the pacing of this movie really helps flow by this runtime of 100 minutes, and not once did I find myself bored. I was highly entertained. I found myself laughing out loud actually at a couple of times, and I really found myself following along on this character's journeys and really kind of getting more emotionally involved in it. Personally, I felt like the emotion that played in this story and the messages that are relayed throughout this movie are done effectively. They weren't so much in your face, or they weren't in case like screaming your attention to the point where it was a bit too much. It was actually balanced perfectly, and by the end of it, it generally made me think. So if it can do that, it's done a successful job. And I was very impressed with the directing debut of Pierre Perifel. Again, if I pronounced the name wrong, I do apologise. Yeah, the directing debut of this guy who I've never really heard of, and I have seen previously. He's done like animation work on Kung Fu Panda, a couple of other animation movies, and he's done some shorts before. I think he's done a very impressive leap from that to this featured debut. I was impressed, and I'm very excited to see what they do in the future. And I've also got to add in here that this is based on a series of books by the same name by an Aaron Blabey? Yeah, again, I'm sorry if I've pronounced the names wrong. I'm sorry if I've butchered them. Now, I will say that I've never read any of the books. I'm purposely going into this with just seeing the movie. But what I will say is if you take your kids, or if you take, I don't know, a relative of yours or a friend, whatever, and they're very young anyway, I think they're going to have a great time with this movie, and they may also want to check out the books afterwards. I kind of want to. If I've got to nitpick with any kind of negatives that I had for the bad guys, I think that unfortunately some of our characters, I wish we learned more about them and we had more time with them. Now, of course, that is quite tough with 100 minutes. You've got to focus, of course, on the bad guys. You've then got to have the side characters as well, which some of the voice casting here are maybe a little bit underutilized. And again, I would love to have seen more of the characters. They're my only kind of negatives, because besides that, I found this movie to be a really great time. I had fun with it. The pacing was fantastic. Impressive directorial feature debut. The music was awesome. So overall, my score for The Bad Guys is... So if you're excited for this movie, or you're going to check out The Bad Guys, or you have already, leave any and all comments down below and let's start the discussion down there. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.